But we're going to kick off this episode of the show with some very, very sad news in the world of music. And that is Ozzy Osbourne, the legendary singer of Black Sabbath and solo artist and pop culture icon, has passed away at the age of 76. And from every article I've read, it said he's been surrounded by family and loved ones in his final moments. Let's take a look at this article from Exclaim. Ozzy Osbourne has passed away at the age of 76. One of the most iconic names in the world of rock music. You know, I've said this before on the show that a lot of celebrities die and a lot of big famous names die from time to time, but not all of them have the impact and the heaviness of a name like Ozzy Osbourne. I would venture to say that when we lost Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys a few weeks ago, that was in similar vein to this, of just being an iconic name, not just a musician, not just a celebrity, but an icon. And Ozzy Osbourne was most definitely an icon in every sense of the word. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2019. He's had some health problems over the years, mixed with, his rock and roll lifestyle. If there was any musician out there that we know lived the rock and roll lifestyle to the fullest, it was most definitely Ozzy Osbourne. So he's had his battles over the years, and 76 years old is still pretty young. But Ozzy Osbourne is one of those guys that lived life to the fullest. And it sounds like he was surrounded by his family, his wife Sharon, as well as his kids, and lots of family when he passed away, which is really the way you want to go, surrounded by family on your own terms. And Black Sabbath just played their final show back to the beginning in their hometown of Birmingham with an all-star lineup just a few weeks ago. So Ozzy Osbourne was on stage singing some solo songs. He was reunited with Black Sabbath, and really, like, he went out on his own terms, right? He played this epic final show in his hometown with all of his friends there, all of his family there, feeling the love of the fans and everybody who loved him, being able to sing those songs before leaving this earth. It's just it's kind of the way that we all want to go. We all want to go on our own terms. And Ozzy Osbourne just leaves this incredible legacy of music, obviously kicking things off with Black Sabbath back in the late 60s. And Black Sabbath weren't just a band, they were pioneers of British metal. They were pioneers of a genre, and they inspired a generation of bands to rock harder than ever before. Like once bands like Black Sabbath, and I said this before, the top four bands that I consider to be the big game changers in the world of rock music in the late 60s: Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Deep Purple. Like, Black Sabbath were on the forefront of creating modern rock, right? There's so many bands, not just the bands that came immediately after them, or the bands that came generations after them. The influence of Black Sabbath is just something that continues to reverberate to this very day. And then Ozzy Osbourne, after he left Black Sabbath, had an incredible second act with his solo career in the 80s, well into the modern day, with hits like Crazy Train and Bark at the Moon and Mama, I'm Coming Home. So he had all this success in these hits with Black Sabbath, but then arguably his solo career was even bigger than that once he went solo, and he continued to do that right through up until he passed away. Like, he was still putting out music a couple of years ago. He put out the Ordinary Man album in 2020. He put out Patient Number 9 in 2022. So he was still staying creative and relevant to the very end. Even if he couldn't get out on the road like he used to, he was doing what he does, which was make music, write songs, sing songs. And it's just incredible that he was doing what he was doing as long as he was. And then when you think about the 2000s, right? When the TV show The Osbournes came out, the reality show that he did with his family, then he had a third act. He was not just a musical icon at that time. Then he became a pop culture icon, right? And so the Osbourne name, started to spread, right? Not just his fame, but it's his family's fame, and that name really held a lot of power and a lot of relevance for a lot of years. And so it's just crazy that he had this incredible career, that he was able to sustain his career for so long through so many hardships and so many troubles, obviously addiction issues, different things that he had to go through in his life with his health issues. Ozzy Osbourne was a true pioneer, a true survivor, and a true rock and roller through and through. The guy just lived and breathed rock and roll music and heavy metal, and it's really just such a loss for the world of rock music. But I just wanted to kind of pull up some of these online reactions from some of the rockers and people that knew him well, mostly from his fellow Black Sabbath band members. So Geezer Butler went on X and he said, "Goodbye, dear friend. Thanks for all those years. We had some great fun. 4 kids from Aston. Who would have thought, eh? So glad that we got to do it one last time back in Aston. Love you." That's from a Black Sabbath bass player Geezer Butler. Tony Iommi, the guitar player from Black Sabbath. "I just can't believe it. My dear, dear friend Ozzy has passed away only weeks after our show at Villa Park. It's just such heartbreaking news that I can't really find the words. There won't ever be another like him. Geezer, Bill, and myself have lost our brother." And also this from Black Sabbath drummer Bill Ward, who, yeah, he wasn't with Sabbath the last time they did their final show back in 2017, but he was there with them for this final reunion show at the Back to the Beginning show a few weeks ago. And Bill Ward says, "Where will I find you now? In the memories, our unspoken embraces, our missed phone calls. No, you're forever in my heart. Deepest condolences to Sharon and all family members. Rest in peace. Sincere regrets to all the fans. Never goodbye. Thank you forever, Bill Ward." So those three tweets coming from Ozzy's Black Sabbath bandmates, who thankfully they got to reunite. Like, that's an amazing thing that they got to reunite and do the Black Sabbath thing one more time before Ozzy passed away. That is amazing. And then some other big names in rock, Metallica, who played at the Back to the Beginning show in Birmingham a few weeks ago. They said on Twitter, "Ozzy, rest in peace. It's impossible to put into words what Ozzy Osbourne has meant to Metallica. Hero, icon, pioneer, inspiration, mentor, and most of all, friend are a few that come to mind. Ozzy and Sharon believed in us and transformed our lives and careers. He taught us how to play in the big leagues while at the same time being warm, welcoming, engaging, and all around brilliant." So that coming from Metallica, really one of the bands that owes a huge debt to Black Sabbath and to Ozzy Osbourne for creating metal and following in their footsteps. Foo Fighters went online. They said, "Rest in peace, Ozzy, and thank you for a lifetime of inspiration. Rock and roll would not be as loud or as fun without you. You'll be forever missed. Our deepest condolences to the entire Osbourne and Sabbath family." And then, yeah, different people, Tom Morello, Wolfgang Van Halen, pretty much everybody in the world of rock music went online to share their memories and condolences about Ozzy Osbourne. And really, like I said, when it comes to icons, they don't get any bigger than Ozzy Osbourne. He is a titan. His name is a titan, an icon in the world of rock music. And when I think to some of my favorite Sabbath tracks, I'm thinking about the major ones. I wouldn't say that I'm a hardcore deep Black Sabbath fan, but I love all the songs that everybody else loves. Sweet Leaf, Iron Man, Paranoid, all those songs, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a lot of awesome Black Sabbath songs. But I love his solo stuff as well. I love Mama, I'm Coming Home, Crazy Train, Bark at the Moon. When I was working in FM rock radio here in Hamilton, we played a lot of Ozzy, probably more solo Ozzy than we played actual Black Sabbath songs. So many favorites, such a loss to the world of rock music. And really, like I said, it doesn't get any bigger. It doesn't get any more iconic than the name Ozzy Osbourne. So he will be missed in the world of rock music. His family, his friends, and the fans, we're all going to miss him very, very much. Just like Brian Wilson, who we lost a bunch of weeks ago. This is a huge loss to the world of rock music. And yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, an icon, a pioneer. And the world of rock would not be where it is without the music and the voice of Ozzy Osbourne. So rest in peace. So guys, hop in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts and memories of Ozzy Osbourne, your favorite songs in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of this or think of your general thoughts of this incredible pioneer.